into it. We're gonna be talking about single life. We're gonna be talking about dating life. We're gonna talk about this money because Koereyelle just got married a year ago.
A year ago, yep. Coming up on a year and a half.
A year and a half. And so, how do you feel being married? Because I think back in 2010, if I'm not mistaken, I did a little bit of research. You left an abusive relationship.
I did.
And you ended it. You was engaged.
I was engaged. Yep.
And you ended it in 2010.
I did.
And this is the first marriage since 2010.
Only marriage ever.
Oh, y'all should have saw her face. She was smiling, and she's like, "Hold up, bro, only one.
Only one.
Don't get it twisted.
Get the record straight."
Yo, okay. Let's go back to the past. You know what I'm saying? As a single woman, what were some of the things that you've learned as a single woman that you want to say that? Oh, I got this. Yeah, let's go here. This is not even on my list. When you were single, you probably made some mistakes. If you can go back to your single life before getting married to the love of your life,
yes.
What's up, Kendra? You know, what would you do differently back then as a serial entrepreneur, as literally, you know, America's favorite homegirl? What would you do differently back then when you were single?
I definitely would have been super intentional about what I actually desired and what I deserved. I spent a lot of time, and the whole reason I got myself into that messed up situation is because my point of attraction was off. Like what I was saying I wanted, the things that I thought mattered, the things that, you know, on paper sounded good were not really the things that I truly desired or deserved. And so going after or even setting my sights on something that was not for me, that's definitely how I ended up, you know, in a situation that was like, that I was not deserving of.
So when you say you weren't deserving of, because we want to be respectful of the man from the past, you know what I'm saying? What were you talking about? What?
He wasn't respectful. We ain't got to be respectful. You know,
we're not going to give that kind of energy.
All right,
you know what I'm saying? You got a great man right now.
Yeah. Without him, I would not have what I have. So absolutely. I definitely attribute that situation. I say, you know, the thing that I really thought was just going to break me down is really what built me up. It gave me the platform to start my entrepreneurial career, and it led me to learning the lessons to, you know, attract the man of my dreams. So
you attracted the man of your dreams.
Absolutely. By becoming the woman of my dreams.
Whoa.
That's the key. Get a little gummy bear. I'm sorry, get a little gummy.
You said you attracted. Yeah. Bring that back on over here because you're going to be eating.
All the white ones. Yeah, all the pineapples.
All the pineapples. Smooth. As a matter of fact, y'all need to sponsor my show. You became the woman of your dreams that eventually attracted the man of your dreams.
Yep.
So you believe that a woman can accomplish all of her dreams. She can get the money. She can start the business.
Yes.
And get the man. Or whatever you desire. That felt so weird saying that. But I gotta be real. All at the same time.
So I think it takes prioritization 1,000%. I think that it's very tricky if you are totally struggling financially. It's very tricky for you to focus on love and dating and relationship because your priority is like survival.
Facts.
For a man or a woman.
Okay.
And so I don't think you can necessarily like be out here putting your best foot forward dating if you are like hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt and you're depressed and you're going through all of these things.
Right.
So the biggest thing for me was becoming. So instead of me just saying, I want to attract this man from who I am right now, I haven't lived up to my potential. I haven't done the things to become the woman that I know that I was born to be.
That's so good.
And I attracted a mess of a man because I was a mess. So this whole, you know, this isn't just like a theory I came up with. It's literally what I know for sure based on, you know, my experience. So I was 24. In my mind, 25, I needed to be married.
Okay.
So I literally wrote this letter to God, spelled out all of these stupid, just superficial things that a 24-year-old thinks are important in a husband, and literally wrote this letter in October. On March 6, 2010, the letter walked into my life. And I mean, he was 18 of the 20 things. To the point where the day he met me, he told me I was gonna be his wife.
For real?
To the point where within 2 weeks, I had to pull out this letter and show it to him like, look, this is you, you know, like, so that whole writing it down makes it real, you know, making the list, all of that stuff is really, really real. Like, you got to be careful what you wish for if you're not wishing from a place of knowing what you desire and knowing what you deserve. Mine was all desire, but not deserve. It was all the...
So everything on your list was just all desire?
Just silly, superficial, you know, what I wanted him to do.
Tall skin, thick chest.
all of the silly things that look good, sound good, but weren't really good for me.
Wow.
And so I got exactly that.
You got exactly that.
Exactly that.
Exactly what was on your list, but two things. But you ended up not marrying that guy.
Absolutely not, because he came with a whole boatload of other things that I hadn't even considered. And so, you know, you asked me what I would, you know, tell my single self, or what I would tell single women out there, is getting clear about what you truly desire and being intentional about it. Yeah. Not just saying you want what looks good. Not just saying, you know, based on what your mama think you should have. You know, everybody's mom has this idea of who they want for you. But then you get that and you're unfulfilled. You get that and you're not happy. You get that and you're depressed because you got this thing you thought you wanted, but it wasn't really what you desired. So
good.
Knowing what you want outside of what everybody else wants for you, I think is super important.
So, real quickly, so everyone can know like who you are and where you are today. Break that down in like 60 seconds. Like, who are you and where are you today? Your success. Stuff like that.
So started out in the classroom, turned that $32,000 teaching salary into $1 million digital brand. I now have a global classroom where I'm teaching Black women specifically how they can stop living paycheck to paycheck by starting new streams based on the skills that they already have. So that is like my baby.
Hold on, pause.
Yes.
I'm going to rewind.
Yes.
I wish we could do that on the show. Like, you went from making $36,000.
32.
32.
Yep.
As a school teacher.
As a school teacher.
I told y'all school teachers
Second and third grade.
$32,000.
Yep.
I told you. Y'all be thinking I'd be playing with my numbers. I know my math. Okay, you went from making $32,000 to generating over $1 million in serving people digitally as a content creator.
Yep.
Pause. I told y'all, but I tell y'all, content creators are becoming the fastest growing small type of like small business. I mean, so if she's doing $1 million, I mean, she's producing at least $88,000 to $100,000 a month. Y'all sleeping. So now you're there, right? You're doing that. You're married.
I am.
So you got the money.
I got the money.
And the honey.
I got the honey. I got my little honey.
You got a little man?
I got a little man. He's 15 months. So all of the things came together based on those lessons learned.
Wow.
And acting on the lessons learned, not just, actually learning the lessons, not just going through the things.
So someone watching right now, and I just, I just follow my spirit. We're going to get to the questions. But someone watching right now is looking at you saying, dang, Koereyelle, like, I like where you are now, but they are where you were 10 years ago. They're in a relationship that they know they need to get out of. Some of them have already left the relationship, but they're scared to move on because they're still tied to the past. What were some things that you put into place that helped you break through and that helped you move forward from where you were to where you are now? What was that bridge? What were things that you put into place? The
biggest bridge, I would say, is accountability.
Okay.
Because I was 25, when I got out of the relationship. It was an abusive relationship. I felt like I had, just gotten myself into just this crazy situation. But when it ended, I never once blamed him. I never once felt like you just came here and did all of this stuff to me. Like my immediate thought was, what was I putting out to attract this? Yeah. Like, what was I going through mentally to think that this is what I deserve? For me, it was only 8 months from start to finish, but I lasted 8 months. Like 8 months, it was like temporary insanity that I was experiencing this and doing this to myself. Wow. And so the biggest thing on the other side of it was holding myself accountable to know that if you want to be married one day, just because this didn't work out doesn't mean that I didn't still have that goal. Yeah. So if I know that I want to be a wife one day, what do I need to do today to prepare for that? Prior to that, I didn't have that conversation with myself. I just said, this is what I want. Let me tell God I want it, and let me go get it. Okay. And that's what I did, and I got it, and it wasn't right. Wow. And so, hindsight being 2020, it's like, well, if this is what you did the first time and you didn't get the result that you wanted, what do you need to change? Because you still want the result, but you got to change the route that you go to get it. Absolutely. And so the biggest thing was holding myself accountable, being self-aware enough to know that I didn't want to just jump into something else. Like, I literally took an entire year of just like, I call it like my soul searching season. Like, I was reading all the books. That's when I read, Think and Grow Rich. That's when I started therapy up again. That's when I got into meditation. Like, it's when I really, really started investing in myself, aside from me wanting to be a wife, aside from, me wanting to be in a relationship. It was becoming the woman of my own dreams, like really figuring out who that person was, because I knew if I became that person or got as close as I could to becoming that person, then I would just start attracting better options. So that was the biggest part of the bridge.
And I like that. You know, I think the bridge, a lot of people skip over the bridge part. Like, and I believe that it is, I call it the D word, which is discipline. Discipline is the bridge from where you are now to where you want to go tomorrow. And it sounds like on your discipline bridge, it was accountability and therapy. You know, I've partnered with BetterHelp this year because I believe some of the reasons why people are not getting out of debt and building wealth or starting that business is because they don't have discipline to say, you know what, I need to seek help. Like, and I think us as entrepreneurs, we're always giving, and serving people, but no one's really serving us and giving back to us and really helping us process things. I'm curious because when you talk about therapy, I like to live there for at least like 5 minutes because y'all know my heart. It's I want to help your mind, your greatest asset, which I believe is your number one business, be the best and be the strongest you possibly be because that's how you can make more money. But in your journey, why do you think therapy was so important for you to get to where you are today?
Because I needed someone outside of myself that had a different set of experiences, a different perception, a different perspective. Using my best capabilities, using everything I had in me, I got myself into an abusive relationship. And so from that point on, if I wanted to improve, if I wanted to attract better, I knew that I needed something other than what I currently possessed, and that was just another person. So an objective ear, you know, someone who can cause you to just consider things in a different way, that was like 1,000% necessary for me to, you know, improve myself so that I could start attracting better.
Do you feel as if the rewards of that, was it hard? Like, was it hard talking to a therapist for you?
You know, I think I'm pretty, well, I'm getting away from saying I'm tough, I'm strong. I'm a soft woman now. But I got in that therapist's office, and when I say she might have said hello, and I started crying. It was like the hello, my name is, and I'm boo-hoo crying. So I won't say that it was hard, but it was uncomfortable because I do, you know, keep my emotions to myself. I'm not often talking to people about how I really, really in my heart of heart feels. And that's what therapy is for.
Right.
It's to have that objective person, that person that's not going to judge you, that person who isn't going to talk about you when you leave, that person who doesn't really know you. And so you can be open and honest and just release. That's really what it is, like releasing all that you've been holding on to. And all of us are holding on to something. Whether you realize it or not, whether you see how it's affecting you right now or not, we're all holding on to something. And sometimes you need somebody else to come in and help you like cut those ties.
Do you think you've built your wealth? Therapy has played a role in you securing your wealth today?
Therapy has played a role in everything. Everything.
Wow. Well, listen, you guys, I didn't know this was going to be talked about, but since we're talking about therapy, I want to encourage you because I agree with Koereyelle. Like to this day, you know, I have some tough days, you know, and I can't talk to my staff, you know, I can't talk to my mom and my dad. I need someone I can talk to that can ask me the hard questions, that can continue stretching me. Well, wait, is it really them? Or was it just the way you were thinking? And man, I feel so refreshed every time I get off. I do my stuff through BetterHelp, right? So I don't have to go into the office. I can actually text my therapist like, hey, do you have some time today to talk? And so I get 2 times with her for free a month inside of my package with BetterHelp. But then sometimes I may text them like, hey, can I get another session in this month? And to me, LeBron James spends close to like, what is it, like $1 million on himself, see? $1 million on himself every single year just to perform. But we as in black people, or we in just in the general people, we don't want to spend money investing into ourselves so we can be better individuals. And I was like, if LeBron can spend $1 million, I can spend $15,000 a year. Not saying therapy is 15 grand a year, but I do other stuff like gym and food and stuff like that. But you know, I'll spend $200 a month, you know, so I can have therapy to keep that growing. So I would encourage you all to go to anthonyoneal.com/betterhelp. They are giving away My Tribe 15% off this month, just because you're a part of My Tribe. And I'm telling you, man, you could be like her. Go from making $42,000 to $1 million, and $1 million to having a honey having some other honeys. You know what I'm saying? But she couldn't be where she is today without really getting that help and that accountability. So I would encourage you, if you're watching this show, try it out. Don't try it out for us. Try it out for you. Try it out for your life. Try it out for your peace. All right? So let me ask you this question. I wrote this question down. Why do you think so many black women specifically believe they can't have it all. Like, they can't be happy. They can't have, or do you think black women think they can't have it all? They can't have the husband. They can't have the money. They can't have the career field that they desire. Because I have been hearing some ladies saying, man, you know, I need to focus on just getting a man and then let him take care of this. Or I'm just going to focus on getting this job and I'm not worried about a man. Like, do you believe ladies are thinking about that?
Absolutely. I think black women specifically, we were not raised to prioritize partnership. We were raised to prioritize our independence. We were raised to be strong. We were raised to be smart. We were raised to carry the weight of the household. We were raised to be able to do it ourselves in case that's the burden that is put on us.
Is that how you were raised?
Yes.
You was raised?
By two military parents who wanted me to be as prepared as possible to take care of myself. I never once had a conversation with my mother or my father about becoming a wife.
For real?
No, it went from, you know, you too young to date boys to you being fast to, you know, and then it's out of nowhere. It's, well, when you gonna give us some grandbaby? When you gonna get married? There's no bridge, though. There was no bridge.
That is so true. And men are taught to be the providers, but we're never taught how to love.
Exactly.
You know, we're never taught how to be emotional without being too soft. You know, it's like, no, you don't be
cry
soft.
about that.
Just man up.
Suck it up. Yep.
Why is that the case? Because you're right. Ladies these days and time are being taught you don't need a man.
You can do it on your own.
You can do it all on your own.
Yep.
And that is a huge turnoff to me.
It's not just a turnoff. It is. It's like a toxic trait.
Ooh.
Because you
Koereyelle.
I mean, I'm just saying.
That's toxic.
Listen, it is, but I don't think it's voluntary. I think it's in you. But this is why you need therapy. This is why you need conversations like this. This is why you have to consider somebody other than just you and your family. You know, if I was okay with doing the things that I saw, I definitely would not be where I was. If I was okay with just doing things how my family does them, I would be getting the same results they got and not what I actually desired. And so you have to consider, you know, doing something different if you want something different. And a lot of times how we were raised is just not going to get you the result that you want.
Oh my God, well,
I mean, did your mama do it differently? Like, did she have a conversation? Because my mama, but she didn't have that conversation with me.
I don't know. I got to ask my sister. I don't know if my mom had the conversation with my sister. I don't think so.
What about you, though?
No. None of my parents never taught me how to be a husband. You know what I'm saying? I'll be honest. My mom she watches my show. I love you, mama. I love you, mothers. I have 4 parents. You know what I'm saying? I have 2 biological parents and 2 step parents.
Okay.
And they did a great job raising me, but even they've admitted that they did not train me in certain areas. We never had a conversation around sex. We never really had a conversation around how to build wealth. And we never really had a conversation around how to be a husband. So sex and money was my issue when I left the home. Money and sex got me in trouble, you know. I'm whole. I'm clean. I was gonna say that, but it's like, you know, I chased women. I chased the bag, but I didn't understand that if I chased one kingdom and chased learning how to be a better man, all that other stuff would have came.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And so the things that were not taught to me ended up being the very same thing that played a role in me becoming homeless. You know, and so when I think about that, I'm like, man. Are we teaching our kids how, because some people will argue the statement saying, no, I was taught to be a wife. I was taught to, hey, whatever the man says you do and just support the man. I've heard some people say that, but growing up.
Is that being a wife? Whatever the man do, just support him? Is that?
I don't know, you married.
Oh, okay. No, that ain't it.
For real.
Whatever the man do.
So if your husband said, babe, I love you, and I think what you're doing is cool. I want you to stay at home and just focus on our little kid. You can't do nothing else. Just focus on him. What are you going to say? Dang, your face.
First of all, the man who's in alignment, my husband who's in alignment with me, we're in alignment with one another, he would never say that.
I get you in that part, but what if he's had a revelation? What if he just won't say, babe, you know, I got this. You know, we out here busting our rear ends and you have son or daughter?
Son.
And little man, you know, we need little man to have, he need one of us 24/7. So babe, how about I go out here and I do what I do, but you stay home and raise little man. That's the revelation that I just got, babe.
From the Lord? Is he telling me that God told, if he's telling me that God has dropped this in his spirit, then it's a conversation we're going to have. But other than that, he's just joking. It's a joke. He's just trying to see what I'm going to say, and I might play along with it, but no, sir.
Yo!
No, sir.
Would you even at least have the conversation to hear his heart out and where the perspective is coming from?
Yeah.
So how would that go? What would you say? Like, all right, babe, let's talk about it.
That's what I would say. Like, all right, babe, let's talk about it. And then I would say,
are you saying let's talk about it, but are you like, I ain't doing it, but we can talk about it?
It literally depends on how he presents it. It literally depends on that.
All right, y'all married. Y'all laying up in the bed. It was a great night. Like, babe. All right, let's start.
Absolutely not. I'm not about to burn down everything I done built from a thought. Absolutely not. But that's why it's important to know who you're submitting to. That's why you have to be wise.
But is that submitting? You just said
absolutely. That's
absolutely
submitting.
not.
No, that's submitting.
How was that submitting? You just said absolutely not.
No, I'm saying if I were to submit to that, that would be submitting. But I know who I'm submitting to, and who I'm submitting to would never ask me to do that. My man would never ask me to give up on my dreams, to give up on who God created me to be because of an epiphany that just came to him. Absolutely not.
Try to switch it up.
Absolutely not. That was a nice try, though. He tried to catch me up, y'all. I do submit to my husband, and he submits to the Lord, but not to no random thought that he got at 10 o'clock at night. No, sir. No, sir.
Okay. You know what I'm saying? You're building you have a 7-figure business. You're building, you winning. Was your husband successful like you before you met him?
My husband is successful in a different way. So he is not an entrepreneur.
Okay.
Well, he is a part-time entrepreneur. He does real estate. And we have, some businesses that we partner on, but he is a pharmacist by trade. So his success is in a different way, but absolutely.
He's still bringing in that bag.
No,
though.
absolutely.
But what if he was like the manager at Walmart?
So
would you have still given him a chance?
Prior to me meeting my husband, it's a whole another conversation, but I actually put myself on this Tinder challenge, this 10-date Tinder challenge.
Oh.
One of these Tinder dates, there was of course, the engineer, the whoever, but there was a janitor that I went on a date with. Truck driver. I've never ever anybody who knows me for real knows I've never been the person who has this like type that I live in this box. I like who treats me right. I like who presents themselves in an appropriate way. So I'll give you a chance. And then it's up to you to, make it or break it.
So what their jobs and their income didn't turn you off? It was really more so about...
I was focused on building, again, being raised to be, you do it yourself so you don't have to depend on anybody. So that's not necessarily what I was looking for. I wasn't looking for someone to come along and take care of me. That wasn't what I valued the most.
What's that word? I don't want to say it wrong. Where you date up. It's like pop something. Because if I say it wrong, it means something else. What's the word? I don't know the word. It's like, I don't want to say it wrong, because if I say it wrong, people looking at me like, don't say it, Ayo. Because one word means you date multiple people. Oh. And then the other one is where you own...
polyamory.
I thought those were both dating multiple people.
But it's like, one of them is you are dating multiple, and the other one is she's dating up only. She will only date up.
Oh, I'm not familiar with that term. But that ain't me. But
that's why I say I didn't want to say the wrong word. You know what I'm saying? People are like, hey, Anthony, what in the world are you talking about? There is a word. If y'all know the name of the word, put it in the chat.
I'm curious.
I know it starts with a P. I know it's like something. But another one of those words is like, the husband has two. Two. One man and a girlfriend, da. But the other word is the woman only dates up. So you're not saying that you were only looking for a man that made more money than you. You were looking like for good partnership. How do you make me feel? How do I make you feel? How can we partner together?
Absolutely.
And you've got that just in a different way. Because, he's in pharmacy. Yeah. But he's still bringing in that bag.
Yeah. No, he's good.
Yeah.
He's good.
I like Koereyelle. She all right with me.
Thank you.
You all right with me. So let me ask you this question. I got this question. I'm about to ask this question. There are so many successful ladies like yourself that are single. Got the bag, beautiful, but ain't got no love. Do you think that's the man's fault, or do you think it's the woman's fault?
I don't think you can blame anyone outside of yourself for your experiences. So I think that, I don't want to say it's your fault, but I think it is your responsibility to get what you desire. You can't blame somebody else for you not having what you want if you haven't done the work to get it. So I mentioned my family. I come from a family who, you know, everybody has kids, but we ain't been to no weddings. Right. I'm talking about I had never been to a wedding until college, and it was like a friend. So still to this day, my family has had 1.5 weddings, and the one was mine. Wow. So that's just not, we just don't get married. We have kids. You don't ask who the kids are. You know, it's just this thing. You show up with a baby, nobody asks questions.
What?
And I think it's pretty common in the Black community, unfortunately. So I knew that that is not what I wanted for myself. And so me knowing, using my logic, not just using my emotions, me knowing that this is not what I desired for myself, I knew that I had to do something different. And so I wasn't okay with just having a baby because I wanted children. I never, ever, ever spoke over my life that I had baby fever. Family fever was my thing. Don't give me no baby. Where's the father and the family? You know, that's what I wanted to attract. And so being intentional about my words, and then being intentional about my actions and making sure they were in alignment, because a lot of times we say what we want. You know, we want all of these things, but we're willing to settle for whatever we can get. We say we want this healthy, happy relationship, but then the first person who hits us up on Friday night, it's like, okay, let's chill. Yeah. It's like, okay, let's go to dinner. I'm hungry. Yeah. And all of those, the discipline you mentioned, all of those decisions that are not in alignment, they're just going to slow you down. And so I think that's what a lot of people are doing. They're speaking what they want in one respect, but then their actions don't align with it.
So what should a single woman right now be doing if she is single and she's successful? I mean, I think about 72% of my tribe who watch and follow my brand are single Black, women. A single Black woman, right? But respectfully, I always hear that they say there's no good men out here.
Not true.
And I'm like, and I be trying to figure out a way to be like, well, maybe it's you. And sometimes it's not. I mean, sometimes they do run into some bad men. And there are bad men and there's bad women. That's bad grammar, but it's just bad a little bit of everybody out there, right? But what should a woman do to position herself as she's building her successful career? What are some practices that she should put into place to start attracting, like what you said, the good men, so she can have a different caliber of men to choose from?
I would say the number one thing, you got to start using logic in your love life the same way you use logic to build your business.